What's going on, Dolphins fans? Jacob here, Miami Dolphins Syndicate. The Dolphins left the draft addressing most of the needs on the team. Now, whether these players amount to the talent level that they can replace and they can fill the holes that are needed on this team is still yet to be seen. However, the Dolphins have done a good job, at the very least, of seeing what is needed, a la interior defensive line, interior offensive line, and secondary, and gotten players through the draft to try to see if they can bolster up those areas of the field. And the Dolphins are looking to continue to do that now, as they've been linked with a few different cornerbacks. And today, the one we will be talking about is former Bill Rasul Douglas. The Dolphins took two cornerbacks in the draft, Dante Trader Jr. and Jason Marshall Jr., both day three guys that, are looking to make the team and maybe can have an impact here. A little unlikely to see it in year one. So the Dolphins are going to go back to free agency and look to find some veteran pieces out there. And as mentioned, Rasul Douglas is the one we're going to talk about today. In Rasul Douglas as a name, I think, is going to spark the ears a little bit of Dolphins fans. However, he is not the talent he certainly used to be. He is not that good of a cornerback, and it is unfortunate that this is just a matter of whatever is left the Dolphins are going to have to take. Rasul Douglas was the 132nd ranked cornerback last year according to PFF, an overall grade of 59.2. His coverage grade is 58.9, 127th among 222 active cornerbacks. This is a part two of the Dolphins going to Buffalo and finding their washed secondary pieces. Last year, of course, the Miami Dolphins added Jordan Poyer, and boy, did that ever work out. The Dolphins going in for Rasul Douglas is just about the equivalent of going after the ex-girlfriend of your arch nemesis in high school for the second time. Both of times, you're going after the ex-girlfriend who just cheated on him, and you're saying, you know what? They're not going to do that to me. This is different. Rasul Douglas was downright terrible for the Buffalo Bills last year. So many comments I've seen from Buffalo Bills fans in comment sections on Dolphins pages linking Rasul Douglas to the Dolphins is pretty much a whole bunch of please emojis, as he was abysmal in a relatively weak Buffalo Bills secondary relative to recent years. They're definitely far off the years of Tre'Davious White and Micah Hyde and Jordan Poyer when all those guys were in their prime. That was a very formidable secondary that the Dolphins had to go up against 2 times a year. Since then, it has certainly fallen off, and the Bills have not been able to replace those pieces which were part of that dominant secondary. Rasul Douglas was one of the prime issues with the Buffalo Bills secondary last year. I mean, you go through all of his metrics, it's hard to find any particularly good traits for Rasul Douglas and any particularly great rankings. 0 interceptions from Rasul Douglas, a 123 passer rating when targeted as a cornerback. Pass breakups only had 3 last year, which was good for 81st. This is not a good cornerback. This is not somebody who you're going to be getting a lot of juice out of. We saw last year the Dolphins bring in pieces on both sides of the ball, guys closer to their 30s. Rasul Douglas, 29 years old, has had some good football in his past, but those days are so far behind him. Rasul Douglas would come in and very much be Kendall Fuller 2.0, very much be Jordan Poyer 2.0, a aging veteran that at one point in their career was a hot commodity, was a big name. The name value does not suit who he currently is as a player, but that's what the Dolphins are left with. The Dolphins have put themselves in this situation. They've addressed these positions through the draft. Whether those pan out or not is yet to be seen. However, the Dolphins have neglected the cornerback spot. There's going to be a big need for players like Kader Kohou and Storm Duck, and notably Cam Smith, who he really has not had a great career up to this point, has not been able to get on the field one way or another, whether it be injuries, whether that be performance. He has struggled to find himself on the field. So because of that, the Dolphins are finding themselves looking at scraps, looking at guys who now are past free agency, now are past the draft, that are still available. They're available for a reason. Rasul Douglas is not a guy you want to be going to, but unfortunately, he's probably going to come in and be forced to play the number 2 spot, assuming best case scenario, Jalen Ramsey stays on the team as he was not traded during the draft. If Jalen Ramsey is still part of this team, Rasul Douglas becomes the 2 and is going to be seeing a lot of minutes guarding some really good wide receivers in this AFC. It's frustrating. It's going to be hard to watch next year. The Dolphins' defense is continuing to be a work in progress, and I can't say that it's gotten much better. I like what they did in free agency in terms of bringing in, at the very least, younger guys who have some juice left to squeeze. However, the names they're being linked with Rasul Douglas, maybe we'll make a video talking about James Bradberry. Just another case of a veteran player who had some good years in the past. James Bradberry, hard to make a video on him as he didn't play at all last season. So Rasul Douglas, you look at what he did last year, it wasn't good. It's not going to get any better, but that's all the Dolphins are left with. Let me know your thoughts on the Dolphins cornerback group and what this group will look like come season time. Let me know your thoughts on Rasul Douglas down below in the comments. We'll catch you all next time. Have a great rest of your day. Go Dolphins.